Friends, fellow travelers on this extraordinary human journey, look around you. Each of us, a universe of stories, of quiet triumphs and hidden battles. We navigate a world that often feels like a whirlwind of demands, of expectations, of noise. And in that noise, how many of us have felt a little out of sync? A rhythm that doesn't quite match the metronome of the crowd. Maybe you've felt like you're too much for some and not enough for others. All in the same week, sometimes all in the same day. If that resonates even a little, then I invite you to open your heart and mind today, because we're going to explore an idea, a language really, that offers profound insights into these very human experiences. It's called human design. And within its beautiful complexity, we're going to zoom in on one particular stream of energy, one gate, that I believe holds a key to understanding not only our unique rhythm, but also to unlocking a deeper, more compassionate love for all of humanity. This is the story of what human design calls Gate 15, the gate of extremes, and ultimately, the gate of love that embraces all. Now, human design itself, it sounds mystical, perhaps complex, and it is rich, but at its heart, think of it as a sophisticated language, a map of our energetic blueprint. It's not about boxing you in with labels, far from it. It's a tool, fallible, yes, as all human tools are, but remarkably useful for illuminating our journey. It helps us script conversations with ourselves, with others, about how we operate, about the subtle energies that shape our lives. It focuses on the process, the drive, the energy that flows through us, rather than just fixed traits. Imagine our being has different energy centers, one for processing information, one for manifesting, one for identity and love, and one for our willpower, for primal energy, for intuition, for emotions, for our pressure to do. And these centers are connected by channels, with gates acting as the specific energetic flavors or potentials at either of those channels. At the end of either of those channels, we all have access to the energy of every single one of what human design would say are 64 gates. If a gate is defined in your personal human design chart, it simply means that energy is a consistent, reliable part of your nature. But undefined doesn't mean absent. It means you experience that energy in a more open, variable way, often reflecting the world around you. We are all developing a relationship with each of these 64 energies in us. Today, our focus is Gate 15, nestled in what the human design calls the G center, or I would call the identity and love center. The very compass of our soul, the seed of our love, identity, and direction. That's the center. Now, Gate 15 is one of the 4 classic love gates in this center, and its particular love is vast. It is the love of humanity. Its ancient roots lie in the Chinese I Ching, the Book of Changes, where its hexagram 15, Qian Qian, means modesty or humility. Picture this. Earth over mountain as its iconic depiction in the I Ching. Earth over mountain. The vast, humble earth gently leveling the towering mountain. It speaks of balancing extremes through humble acceptance. Doesn't Doesn't that resonate with the deep spiritual truth? He that is greatest among you shall be your servant. To become a child, to enter a high realm, this isn't just philosophy, it's an energetic principle. So, what does it feel like, the energy of Gate 15? It's often called the Gate of Extremes. It's the energy of marching to the beat of your own drum, a drum that might play a wild, exuberant rhythm one day and a slow, contemplative beat the next. It's about embracing the full spectrum, the scorching summers and the frigid winters of our inner and outer lives, finding the larger equilibrium through the variation. If this energy is strong in you, you might find yourself seesawing between intense activity and profound rest, passionate agreement and quiet solitude. Society might call it inconsistent. You might have called yourself inconsistent too. But Gate 15 whispers, no, this is your flow. This is your unique way of processing life, of loving humanity in all of its varied forms. Think about it. To truly love all of humanity, you often have to be willing to stand a little apart, to fit out rather than fit in. This gate grants an ability, a need to accept oneself even when preferences or behaviors are the perceived edges of normal. Its frequency of radical acceptance, first of self, then extended outwards. As the incomparable C.S. Lewis observed, quote, "The dullest and most uninteresting person you can talk to may one day be a creature which, if you saw it now, you would be strongly tempted to worship." Gate 15 instinctively feels that truth. There are no ordinary people. Every soul carries a spark of love divine, a latent glory. This brings us to the quality of this energy. Like any energy, Gate 15 can be expressed in healthier or less healthy ways. We can think of it as a spectrum. At its shadow, its lower frequent quality, Gate 15 can manifest as dullness. It's ironic, isn't it? An energy of extremes, yet its shadow is dullness. This happens when the natural flow is dammed up, when we try to force ourselves into rigid, monotonous patterns. That isn't ours. Life loses its luster. Or, conversely, if we swing to extremes without purpose, just chasing sensation to escape that inner grayness, we find only fleeting highs and deeper emptiness. It's the wasteland where nothing truly satisfies. But here's the magic. As we begin to embrace our authentic rhythm, as we offer ourselves and others the grace of acceptance, something shifts. The quality of this energy elevates from the shadow of dullness. We move into the gift of magnetism. When you are living the Gate 15 authentically, honoring your unique flow, you begin to emanate a natural magnetism. It's not a forced charisma. It's the quiet power of a soul at home in its own skin. A soul that radiates acceptance. People are drawn to this. Why? Because we all yearn to be accepted as we are. The person embodying the Gate 15 energy very well offers that silent permission. It's okay to be you, all of you. They become a haven. This magnetism isn't just about personal charm. It's about becoming a bridge builder. It's about creating spaces where diversity isn't just tolerated, but celebrated. Think of a time you felt utterly, completely yourself, and in that state attracted wonderful people and opportunities. That's a taste of Gate 15's magnetism. It's the joy of genuine connection, the vitality that comes through living in truth. It reminds me of the words of Thomas S. Monson. Quote, "We are all spirit children of our Heavenly Father, and as such, our brothers and sisters. As we keep this truth in mind, loving all of God's children will become easier." That ease, that natural flow of love, it's the magnetism. And what is it, the highest, most transcendent expression of this energy? It's called by some fluorescence, a blooming and exponential expansion where a life bursts into flower, continually renewing, continually pouring out beauty and unconditional love into the world. This is where the love of humanity becomes radiant, divine force. Think of those rare souls who seem to possess and seem to embody pure, selfless love. St. Francis, Mother Teresa, individuals whose very presence heals and inspires. Their lives become an eternal flowering spring. Now I know this sounds lofty, and perhaps you're thinking, that's not me with my messy, unpredictable life. But this is where human design and indeed eternal spiritual principles offer such hope. We all have access to this journey from dullness to magnetism and a glimpse, at least, of fluorescence. Our nature, our defined gates might set our consistent style. But nurture, our upbringing, our choices, our experiences, our relationship with the divine, those profoundly shape the quality of how we express these energies. And we always have the agency to chart a new path, to elevate that quality. This is where we can beautifully intertwine this framework of human design with a deeper spiritual understanding many of us are seeking. We look for unique ways to understand the world because perhaps some feel lost or think differently. Sometimes traditional paths may have felt confusing or even hurtful. And not because the core truths were lacking, but perhaps because they weren't always expressed in a way that resonated with our unique soul. Human design, seen through the lens of light, can become one of the many paths that help us rediscover those eternal truths that point us back to the divine, to heavenly parentage, to the perfect love modeled by Jesus Christ. When we speak of Christ as the archetype, I see him as the flawless manifestation of every gate's highest potential. With Gate 15, consider his life. He embraced the entirety of human experience, from the glories of heaven to the humble manger, from dining with scholars to washing dusty feet. He loved the fervent disciple and the doubting Thomas. He met with outcasts and leaders, offering a love that saw beyond station to sin, to the divine worth of each soul. His life was a symphony of profound extremes, all harmonized by unconditional love. He descended below all things, that he might comprehend all things and lift all things. Is that not the ultimate fluorescence, the ultimate magnetism that draws all souls unto him? This understanding doesn't replace faith. It can enrich it. It can help us see how divine principles are woven into the very fabric of our being. I once came across a poem, or perhaps it's more a meditation, that tries to capture this essence. It's called The Garden of Extremes. In the garden of extremes I walked one day, where wild flowers bloomed in disarray. Tall sunflowers stretched to kiss the sun, mosses crouched low when the day was done. A raging river ran on one side, on the other a still pond, crystal wide. Hot winds danced the blossoms of flame, cool shadows soothed the old oak's frame. I broke inside the desert rose, for my petals opened what others close. All night I bloom under silver moon. When dawn arrives, I sleep till noon. Laughed the lily, golden at morn. Each of us has our time to be born. Yours? Yours is the rhythm of the velvet night. Mine is the pattern of broad daylight. Broken? No, just different keys, playing one song in gentle harmonies. I looked at the gardener tending each one, his eyes full of love for shade and the sun. Lord, I whispered, I'm wild and extreme. How can I fit in your peaceful stream? With a soft smile he took my hand. See that river carve the land? See that pond mirror the sky? Both reveal my glory nigh. Some souls are rivers, restless and bold. Some are ponds that calmly hold. But both reflect my light and grace. There is a purpose for each place. I made you a wild flower, untamed and true, not to prune you down, but to let you bloom. Offer your fragrance in darkest night. I'll send the wanderers to find delight. Extremes in my garden are part of the art. Chaos and order each play their part. Only be humble. Root yourself in me. I'll nourish your spirit. Set your extremes free. To grow into gifts for others to cherish. To a shelter for souls whom conventional fields banish. In the gardens of extremes at twilight's call, fireflies flicker as nightbirds enthrall. I realize my soul is a flower bazaar. But here in God's garden, each one shines a star. I am a wild rose that opens at night. Jesus walks with me in that silver light. No longer I worry I'm out of place, for his love plants me firmly in fertile grace. Every extreme he balances with care, using my life in his grand mosaic fair. In this garden of extremes I find strong, belonging to him, with him I belong. That feeling of belonging, of purpose within uniqueness, is what Gate 15 ultimately offers. It's about finding the fertile grace. So, how do we cultivate this? How do we live this? It starts with self-acceptance, with giving ourselves permission to honor our natural rhythms. If you have days of high intensity and days of needing retreat, it's not a flaw. It's a rhythm. Learn to listen to it. This is where human design concept of inner authority comes in. Learning to make decisions from your own internal truth. We all have a council of inner wisdom. Our mind, our emotions, our intuition, our gut feelings. Human design points to one of these as often being the head of counsel for each individual. Learning to listen to that primary authority while also valuing the input of other voices and ultimately aligning that counsel with the divine will is key. This counsel helps us to discern when to push, when to rest, when to engage, when to withdraw. Navigating our extremes with wisdom. And it means remembering. Remembering that humility, the earth over mountain, as the Chinese I Ching depicts it, that's foundational. It's not about showing off our extremes or of our tolerance. True Gate 15 humility is a quiet strength, an unassuming wisdom that sees the divine in all, including oneself, without fanfare. It allows us to be fully present, fully ourselves, and in doing so, create the magnetic space for others to be themselves too. This journey with Gate 15, it's not about achieving some static state of perfection. Life is extremes. It is flow. It's about how we navigate it. It's about the quality of our presence, the intensity of our love, the frequency with which we choose compassion over judgment. These are sliders we can adjust with divine help day by day. Imagine a world where each of us felt safe to live our authentic rhythm. Imagine communities that didn't just tolerate diversity, but truly celebrated it as essential for collective strength and wisdom. Imagine hearts so open that the other simply became another brother, another sister. This isn't a utopian dream. It's the potential encoded within us, within energies like Gate 15, and within the highest teachings of all the great spiritual traditions. The beauty of seeing human design as a language for our divine journey is that it doesn't predict a fixed state. It describes an energetic toolkit. What we build with it, how brightly we allow our unique light to shine, and how widely we open our arms to embrace humanity. That is up to us. That is our sacred stewardship. So, I invite you today, as you leave this space, to reflect on your own relationship with extremes, your own and those of others. Where can you soften a judgment? Where can you embrace a rhythm you've long resisted? Where can you extend a hand, an ear, a heart to someone who walks a different path? Let the energy of Gate 15 be a friendly guide. Let it remind you that your unique song is vital to the world's chorus. Let it inspire you to cultivate that inner magnetism born of authenticity and love. And in those moments when life feels too extreme or perhaps too dull, remember the gardener who sees the beauty in every flower, every river, every still pond, and who walks with you, always in your own silver night light. Embrace your magnificent design. Embrace diverse magnificence in others. And together, let's make this world a little bit more like that garden of extremes, a place where every soul in its own unique way can truly, beautifully fluoresce. Thank you, and good night.